Okay, let us do problem 20 in 5.2. So this is in 5.2, problem 20. It's a bit wordy. Your question 23 after this is just like this one. So it's about medical tests. We have diagnostic tests of some medical condition. Think, for example, coronavirus. We want to connect it to today's issues. Can have several types of results. The test result can be positive or negative, whether or not the patient has a condition. A positive test plus indicates the patient has a condition according to the test. The negative test minus indicates the patient does not have the condition according to the test. Because remember, a positive test does not prove the patient has a condition because it could be a mistake. Additional medical work may be required. Consider a random sample of 200 patients, some of whom have a medical condition and some of whom do not. Results of a new diagnostic test for the condition are shown. Remember, the idea is a positive test. If it was ideal, in an ideal world, if you have positive, means you have the condition, negative, you don't, but in fact, there's mistakes. So we have this chart here to explain the results. So let's, for example, if you read across a row, look at that row right there. That tells you among the positive results, we had 130 total positive results. Of those, 110 were good. We got that was positive and they had the condition. These are bad ones. Among the positives, 20 did not have the condition, and so on. Let's do some examples with this, mostly conditional probabilities. So let's look at A. Looking at A, so what's the conditional probability? See this bar in A, we have this given of, so conditional probability of a positive given the condition is present. So a good way of thinking about these is, as in a video, think of the reduced sample space. So the condition in A, we want to reduce the sample space to just when the condition is present. So that means we look at just when the condition is present. Just look in that column when the condition is present. And given that reduced sample space, which has a total of 130 tests, how many of them are positive? So in this case, it's simply we have a total of 130 to consider in our reduced sample space over 110 favorable to ours. And you can, of course, simplify this to 11 over 13. That's A. Let's see, B. Whoops. Okay, let's look at B. So B is, again, conditioning again on conditioning being present. So a reduced sample space is still here, but now in B, it's saying what's the probability of getting a negative result. So in this case, it's simply 20 over 130, which we can simplify to 2 and 13. There we go. C. So C is asking, now it's conditioning on the condition being absent. So now we're saying, well, suppose you knew that you're told the condition is absent. Then in C, what's the chance of a negative? So here we reduce our sample space. So our reduced sample space is to just now the condition being absent is now the condition being absent. Okay, so the total number of cases to consider is 70 here. And in C, the number of favorable is negative here there's 50 negatives, so we get 50 over 70, which is 5 over 7. And D, it's like C, but now we look at not the negative, but we look at how many positive. So we get 20 over 70, which simplifies to 2 over 7. Okay, let's look now at E and F. We'll actually see this. Notice there's no vertical bar in E and F, right? If you look at let's look at this. So if you look at E and A, B, C, D, all have that vertical bar. This makes us know it's a conditional probability question. But notice there is no such bar in E and F, so those are just non-conditional probabilities. So we just have to look at this one. Let's see. E is, what's the probability the condition is present and we have a plus? So being present are all those, and having a plus is all of those. So in fact, which ones are in both? We have just that. There's 110, which are both positive and have the condition present. So it's a whole total of 110 cases we're considering over. Now here we're not conditioning on, say, the total 130 or something like that. We're conditioning on a total number of cases, all the cases. So it's over 200. So we get 11 over 20 when we simplify. Okay, and now let's look at F. Put F over here. F, erase all this stuff. Okay, so again, F is not a conditional probability. What's the probability the condition is present? So present, and we get a negative. So there's only 20 in the category of both being condition being present and having a negative. So we have 20 cases in that category. And we have a total of 200 cases altogether still, because it's not a conditional probability. We just look at all the cases, right? It's a sample of 200, right? That's over 200. So that simplifies to, in this case, just 1 over 10. And there we go.